Hey YouTube, welcome back to my data structures in Typescript series. In this video we're going to go over AVL trees, which is a self-balancing binary search tree. So to recap, this is what we had in the previous video. We went over binary search trees and we thought that the runtimes of searching, insertion, and deletion were O of log n, but we saw that trees could become degenerate. And because of that, the worst case runtime is really the height of the binary search tree because we're really just tracing paths up and down the tree. So the runtimes actually are O of h. At best, h is log n, but in the worst case, h is n. So we want to guarantee that our operations are going to run in log n, and for that we need to make sure that the height of the tree maintains balance. And this is where we are going. We're going to go over self-balancing binary search trees, which maintain the height of the tree to make sure they're balanced, and because of that, we're going to get a guarantee that the height of the tree is always going to be log n, and because of that, our operations become logarithmic. So the first thing that you have to know is what is a height balanced tree. To achieve logarithmic height, we want our trees to be height balanced. A balanced tree means the difference in the height of the left subtree and the right subtree. Basically, in a height balanced tree, no leaf should have a significantly longer path than any other leaf. This is a balanced tree because the heights of the left subtree and the right subtree don't differ by more than 1. You can see with the dotted lines that the difference between the left and right subtree is no more than 1 level. This is an unbalanced tree, and this is because the height of the left subtree and the right subtree differ by more than 1 level. It's really 2 levels. So to make sure that our trees are height balanced, we need 2 pieces of information. 1 is the height of every node, and 2 is the balance factor of every node. The height of a node is the length, not height, is the length of the maximum path to a leaf. So starting from the bottom of the tree, we see that the height of 5 right here is 1. So the way the heights are calculated is that we take the height of the left subtree and the right subtree, and then we take the maximum of the two and then add 1 to it, because remember that the height is the maximum path to a leaf. So here the height of the root tree is 4 because the maximum of 2 and 3 is 3, and then we add 1 to get 4. If we go down, the height of the left subtree and right subtree for 4 are 0 and 2. So the maximum obviously is 2, and then we add 1 to it to get 3. If we go down here, the height of this node is 1 because the height of the left and right subtree are 0, and we add 1 to it to get 1. So now that we know what heights are, we can talk about balance factor. And the balance factor of a node is the height of the left subtree minus the height of the right subtree. So here are the balance factors for all the nodes in the figure to the right. The balance factor for 5 is because the height of the left subtree is 0, and the height of the right subtree is 0, so 0 minus 0 is 0. The balance factor for 6 is 1 minus 0, which is 1. The balance factor for 4 is 0 minus 2, which is negative 2. And the balance factor for 3 is 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. So you can probably tell already by just looking at the balance factors and the figure that the balance factor is positive when the node is left heavy, it's equal to 0 when the node is balanced, and the balance factor is negative when the node is right heavy. You can think of balance factor as a scale. The node is left heavy when its left subtree is taller than the right subtree. It's balanced when the heights of the two subtrees are equal, and it's right heavy when the height of the right subtree is greater than the left subtree. So here in the figure to the right, this tree is left heavy because obviously the left subtree is heavier than the right. Now that we know the heights of the nodes of our tree, which then leads to the balance factors of every node, this gives us the idea of the AVL invariant. And this is the AVL invariant. Every node must have a balance factor of either -1, 0, or 1. Intuitively, this means that for every node, the difference in the heights of the subtree cannot differ by more than 1, which was our original definition. So this is the idea. Start from the bottom of the tree and move up. Whenever we find a node with the absolute value of the balance factor to equal 2 or -2, okay, so this is wrong because the absolute value has to be positive, but if the balance factor is equal to 2 or -2, we fix it. So this means that we will always fix nodes as soon as we see them, so the balance factor will. So for example, we start from the bottom of the tree and we see that the balance factor of 5 is 0, so that's fine. We go up and we see that the balance factor of 6 is 1, so that's fine because the height of the left and right subtree differ by more than 1, and 1 is okay. But when we go up to 4, the balance factor is now 0 minus 2, and that's equal to -2. So this is right heavy. And this is violating the AVL invariant because at most the balance factor can be either -1 or 1. So how do we fix this? We fix imbalances with rotations. So look at the left side. We have a right heavy tree rooted at 1. We have 1, 2, 3, and it's unbalanced because the balance factor here would be 0, which is the height of the left subtree, minus 2, which is the height of the right subtree, so it's -2. So because of that, we need to fix this. The way we fix this is perform a left rotation on 1. So this means we kind of bring 1 right here down to the left. Think of it as rotating it. And the new root is actually 2. So this is the final tree. We rotated 1 up to the root, down, and kind of that circular motion. That's what I like to picture. This binary search tree is left heavy. We have 10, 9, 8. And the balance factor for 10 is the height of the left subtree 2 minus 0, which is 2. So because this tree rooted at 10 is left heavy, we have to perform a right rotation. We want to have more weight on the right. So you want to move 10 down to the right. So think of it as like that. And 9 will be the new root. So this is the new tree. So when we come across unbalances like these in our AVL tree, we can fix them with simple left-right rotations when the unbalance is just 3 nodes in a row. So here we have 3 nodes in a row, which is right heavy, and we can just perform 1 left rotation. And here we have 3 nodes in a row, which is left heavy, and we can perform a right rotation. There's 2 more cases that we have to account for, and the first case, there's 2 more cases that we have to account for. The first case is when the left heavy node, so this is left heavy, has a left child, but then the left child has a right child. So we can't perform a right rotation because 3 is going to go down to 2, but 2 already exists. You know what I mean? Like the root, we want to rotate. So it's 1 is the new root and 3 is the new right child, but 1 already has a right child. So what do? We first want to fix this Pac-Man looking tree into a straight tree. So we want to fix it into the previous case that we saw before. So what we do is perform a left rotation on the left child. So we move 1 down, and 2 is now going to become the new left child of 3. So this is what we do. Form a left rotation on 1. So now the new structure is linear, and now we know how to deal with this case because we can just perform a right rotation on 3 because we want more weight on the right of this tree because it's left heavy. So that's what we do. We perform a right rotation on 3. We bring 3 down to the right, and 2 is the new root, and now we have a balanced tree. And the second case is analogous to the left-right case. We have a right-left case. So going to the namings, left-right means that the root has a left child and left child has a right case. So the analogous case is when the root has a right child and the right child has a left child. So this is still right heavy, but it's not a linear fashion. So we can't solve this with one rotation. So what we do is the same thing on the left, but we do it to the right. We want to transform this into a linear tree. So what we do is we perform a right rotation on 10, and 9 becomes the new root. But this is still unbalanced, but at least we know how to deal with this. What we do is perform a left rotation down on 8, and we get a balanced tree again. These are the steps for insertion and deletion. We both perform the regular BST operations, so regular BST insertion and regular BST deletion, and then we rebalance the tree if it violates our AVL invariant. So here let's look into the animation of an AVL tree, which will clear a lot of things up. Let's say we wanted to insert 5. So the first step in insertion is to perform a regular BST insert. So we do that, and we see that our AVL tree is not violating the AVL invariant because this balance factor of this node is balanced, so we're good. Next, let's insert 6. So we insert 6 and we perform a regular BST insertion, and we see that the AVL invariant is not violated. Every balance factor of every node is either -1, 0, or 1. So the balance factor of this node is 0, and the balance factor of 5 is 0 minus 1, which is -1. Next, let's insert 7. So you can already tell what's going to happen. We're going to insert 7, and the regular BST insert would insert 7 right here to maintain the BST invariant. But then our AVL invariant is violated because the balance factor for 5 is now 0 minus 2. So let's see what happens. We insert 7. We insert into this correct spot. But now we recalculate the heights, and we see that the root node was right heavy. So we perform a left rotation on the root node. Let's do the same thing on the left subtree to check out right rotations. So let's insert 4. and that's okay. Our tree is still balanced, and let's insert 3. At this point, it's going to become an unbalanced tree, and we perform the right rotation on 5. Let's see another example where we have a right-left case. So let's insert 5. That's fine. Let's insert 8. But now when we insert 7, the tree is going to become right-heavy, and it's a right-left case. So what we do first is rotate to become linear. It doesn't show it, but we perform a right rotation to become linear, and then a left rotation on the root. But yeah. So this is the final verdict. With sorted arrays, we had logarithmic searching, but our insertion deletions were O of n because we had to find the correct spot and shuffle over the elements. We thought the solution to sorted arrays was binary search trees, but the height of these binary search trees are not guaranteed to be logarithmic. In the worst case, they could be linear when they degenerate into right-skewed trees or left-skewed trees. So the final solution is self-balancing binary search trees, and this maintains the height of the data structure, and then as a result, our operations can now run in log n time because our height is guaranteed to be logarithmic. So that's it for self-balancing binary search trees. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.